Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Little Boat Adventures. This is part 2 to our modifying the Thru-Hull video, and I just want to add another little disclaimer to say that this is a how we did it video, not a how-to video. So if you're going to be doing anything similar, then I would make sure you do your homework, do your research on how you're going to do it and whether you think that's going to be good enough, or seek advice from a professional. We done it this way because we had looked at some forums and watched some other YouTube videos, and it seemed to work out really well. So that's the method we kind of followed. And a bit of a spoiler alert, it's worked out okay. The boat's back in the water and there's been no leaks, and we hope there'll never be any leaks. But thanks again for tuning in to watch another episode, and we hope you enjoy this video. So where we left off last time was we had just modified the Thru-Hull, and as you can see here we're just trying to fit the skin fitting, but it's a little bit too snug. So just a case of using the hole saw just to widen that hole out a bit more, and that allowed the skin fitting to fit in perfectly. And with that having been done, I just cleaned up with the orbital sander and some hand sanding around the edges of the new Thru-Hull, and that would allow a nice smooth flow of water across the Thru-Hull and across the depth and speed sensor. More acetone. Oops, oh, too much. Having cleaned the surface with some acetone, then it was time to get some epoxy and chopped strand matting laid up just to reinforce the join between the fiberglass mould and the surface of the boat. So I'm just using multiple layers of chopped strand matting and West Systems epoxy to add out the glass. And then I just used a fin roller to apply it and smooth it out. But as you'll see, this turned out to be a really nasty, messy job. And you can see some of the epoxy's dripping off there. That's okay because I want to lean laminate, because the strength is in the glass. So as long as the glass is wetted out, then I don't mind the excess dripping off. It's just a bit messy. I'm trying to make a nice smooth camber here. Sorry, I keep dropping the camera. I'm not too worried about these wispy bits at the edges because they'll be all getting sanded down. So what I'll do is, once I think I've got that all level, is just cover it with peel ply, especially around here because I'm scared of it sagging. And then when we come back again, we'll sand it all down, smooth it out a bit, make sure everything's level, and then we'll fur it and prime it. My hands are covered in epoxy, so I'm just going to turn this off now. I'm just going to peel ply it, but I'll not bother videoing it. It's not a pretty sight, but I'm sure we'll get it cleaned up to be looking well once we're done. So I'm going to leave that for a day, and hopefully that all cures very well for me. Sanding should tidy it up.
Nice.
I'll just build that up a wee bit with the high density primer just to make it go that little bit smoother, but that's good. I wanted to get a kind of flat edge coming up there.
No, that's really good.
Clean that all up and sand it a wee bit better.
Good shape.
Yeah. Tidy up, sand some of it back, like I say. With the glass having been laid up, I decided then to just give it another bit of a rough up and smooth down with the orbital sander and some hand sanding to just smooth off the edges. After that, it was time to mix up some epoxy with silica and glass bubbles just to make the fern compound waterproof. So we had to make it nice and thick, and as they say, thicken it to peanut butter consistency, especially if you're going to be working on a overhead horizontal surface. And that was just applied all around the new Thru-Hull just to smooth it, and then it could be furred into the shape we needed it to be. The wee insert there.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much. Sitting fresh around that. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So I'll sand around, just hand sand around these edges and help here.
Yeah.
Just to make it all nice and smooth. And then that'll be ready for priming.
Awesome job. Well done, babe.
Thanks. Teamwork. So after the fern compound had been put on and hardened, then there was a lot more hand sanding to be done just to get it smooth and looking the way we wanted to. But the way that it ended up looking, we were really happy with it. The finish turned out really well. Then it was just a matter of applying the underwater primer. We used Primacon, and when it was done, then once it dried, it was time to fit the skin fitting, and that would have been the outside more or less completed. We'd just need the anti-foulet. You okay for me to pop this up through? Okay, I think I'm done. Just switched over to my phone because the memory card's full on the GoPro. Hello. So I actually hadn't pressed record on the phone there to record this. So what I've actually done is I've laid up some chap strand matting, a few layers of it with epoxy, to just around the edges of the wedge that we had made up with the milled glass fibre, just to get a good bond with it and the hull. And then what I've done with this foam core that I had laying about is made a kind of semi-circle shape there, and what I'm going to do is on top of the wetted out chap strand matting is put in some epoxy with milled glass fibre just to try and get this shape sorted and level. So I'll do a bit more of that, but add a lot more chap strong matting because I want this to make a good thick bond. Sorry, it says add more chap strong matting, but what I mean is more mill glass fibre to make it nice and thick. But it's wetted out chap strong matting underneath this that I'm putting in, so that should make all a good bond. So as you can see here, to allow the hole to keep its shape, I just plugged it with the old skin fitting wrapped in some cling film. Let's get a wheel stuck on there. I'll just
Get a wee knife
get a wee knife and pop it off. It's not going to make any difference if I can't get it all off from around the edge. It's just a bit of foam core. As long as we can sand that flat so that the locking nut sits flush on top of it.
Good work.
As you can see, we managed to get rid of that green foam core, and then we took a sander to sand flush this surface as best we could. So as you can see there, I'm just tightening up the nut and checking around the edges to make sure there's no gaps and it's sitting nice and flush. Stop what you're saying. It's hard in your hands. You clean hand. Yum. See our point before there. Yum.
Oh.
You okay now to stay and hold that if I don't get the nut on?
Yeah, no pressure, just kind of make sure, or while you screw
I'll
down.
be tight, that just make sure it kind of stays pointing forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Still okay? Okay, I think that's as tight as I can get it.
Looks well.
Sorry.
Good work there, lad. Oh, let's trip over the wood.
So it says to well oil around the O-rings, or not oil, but use the silicone Of course, I'm going to get down and double check that the attitude of the boat is correct with the arrow of the paddle wheel. So we get a correct speed reading. But I'm gonna go ahead and feed the NEMA drop cable round through to where it's going to be permanently mounted. Join us next time on Little Boat Adventures when you can see us getting our NEMA network up and running with the addition of some new equipment. We'll also be sanding and repainting the boat for the second time. We'll be installing our wind vane and also officially renaming our boat. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember, you can follow along in real time on Facebook and Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and let us know what you thought. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. If you'd like to support our channel, please visit our Ko-fi or Patreon page. Thank you.